Welcome to my yarn and crochet channel. Today I am super excited to repair this Afghan with you guys. So this blanket was made for my husband's friend Parrish and his family years ago, and it was definitely a labor of love. So let's get started on the repair, and in just a minute or two I'm going to tell you a great story. But before we go any further, I just want to welcome everybody back to my yarn and crochet channel. My name is Ginger. I am the Yarn Geek, and I am your guide through this big, wonderful yarniverse. Okay, I'm going to undo it to about right there. Okay. Oh, that was nice. Let's see, I'm using this worsted 3 weight to fix it. And this is a 4 weight. I wonder what makes it worsted 3. I don't know. It's not quite as fluorescent as the original yarn, but I don't have any that exactly matches it. But I think it matches it, you know. It goes along right there because that one's not really super fluorescent. So, let's see, I'm going to tie that together with a magic knot. Let's see if I can find my scissors. Okay, gonna snip off those 2 ends of my magic knot, and here we go. Let's start on the actual repair. Now I might figure out partway into this that I need a different size hook. We'll just see. Oh yeah, this definitely feels like one of those older Red Heart Super Savers. Let's see how those stitches look. Next, the stitches in the yarn. Let's see if it looks okay next to it. Okay, I think that's a pretty good match. What do you think? Okay, now we're gonna go up here. And we are fortunate that this is still here. This being the edge of the blanket. So I'm going to match, let's see, this stitch right here. So I'm going to, how many rows do you think this is? Let's see. There will be, if we finish this, there will be 1, 2, 3. And so let's see, this is 1, 2, 3. I do believe this is going into, yeah, this stitch is kind of stretched out. So here's how we're going to do it. This goes to that next stitch. Okay, so as you can see right here, I am going quite a bit faster, and let me tell you why. When I repair an Afghan or something crocheted, it kind of takes me a couple of frogging episodes and trial and errors before I get the right stitches or the right repair down. So that's what I'm doing right here. I'm just kind of feeling things out. But while I'm doing this, I might as well get started on that story I was going to tell you guys. So like I was telling you, I am fixing this blanket for my husband friend's Parrish, who he's known since grade school. But get this, when I was 15, I was Parrish's babysitter. I know, crazy, right? Not only that, my dad and Parrish's dad have been like best friends since high school. Actually, since grade school also. I think they all went to the same grade school, both the dads and Casey and Parrish. I remember when I was little and Parrish was little. Actually, he was a few years younger than me. His parents and my parents would, get together and have fun, and they would bring Parrish and his sister, Stacy. So then about 10 years later, when I was a teenager looking for babysitting jobs, I got to babysit them, and it was so much fun. I remember getting in trouble because I would feed them too many sweets when their parents were out. So fast forward about 20 years, and I met my now husband, Casey, and I don't know how we got on the subject, or I don't know how I found out that he was really good friends with the little kid I used to babysit. And then I thought, oh my gosh, did I ever see Casey when he was little? I mean, they're only 7 years younger than me, but still, back then when we were kids, that was a big age difference. Anyway, when Casey said that Parrish needed this blanket fixed, I was like, heck yeah, bring that blanket over here. I would love to fix it for you. So that brings us to now, and we are fixing this beautiful blanket. Don't you just love the bright sunshiny colors? I was so happy while I was working on this because the colors were just making me feel wonderful. And just something about the process of repairing this blanket is so satisfying. I love repairing Afghans because it's restoring something that was crocheted and whole and then, for whatever reason got damaged, and then making it whole again. I absolutely love it. Okay, so as you can see, the video is still going a little bit fast, and I'm still trying to figure out what exactly am I doing wrong here. There's a minute or so more of fast forward, and that's where I'm still just figuring out what is going on here. But then when it slows down, I will explain to you what I'm doing some more. So until then, let's listen to some beautiful music. Oh, well, that was not very much time at all. So as you can see, where am I? I am right where I left off when I started going fast. So far, I have crocheted that first portion of a row from when I attached the yarn with a magic circle. And I've crocheted all the way down to that side, and I'm trying to figure out the best kind of invisible stitch to put on the side right here. And I do know that I indeed get it figured out. And then there will be 2 more whole rows in that repair area that I'll need to crochet, and I'm just doing single crochet. I matched the yarn and the hook up pretty nicely, I think. It is a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook and a 4-weight yarn. And it's really kind of hard to tell the difference between the yarns. I think I got a pretty good match. So this is, oh, you know what? I'm only crocheting, I'm crocheting 2 more rows. The place that needed repair or the part that was ripped out, was a total of 2.5 rows of that little area. So single crochet, and while we're crocheting, let's listen to some more beautiful music. So down at this end, I'm doing basically the same thing I did with the side of the Afghan. I'm just finding the best seamless way possible, or most invisible way I can find to attach my yarn onto the still intact part of the blanket. So once I do that, it looks like I just need to crochet one more row down, and then I'm going to sew up the tops of those stitches to the bottoms of the stitches right above. So let's crochet the rest of this row. Okay, so now I have cut the yarn and I'm just going to stitch the bottom and the top of those 2 rows together. And I'm going through this a couple of times. You'll see that I kind of do it and then I have to undo it and do it and undo it, because I'm trying to get the least visible stitch done on this blanket, if that makes sense. And it won't work with just a slip stitch, which I think is what I'm doing right now. And of course I'm matching up the tops of the stitches of the one row to the bottoms of the stitches of the other row, because the bottoms of the stitches are kind of, there's no clear place to sew them together. And what I ended up doing is putting my needle through the top of the one stitch and then going through the bottom of the other stitch, but I had to kind of loop it through. There was a loop there. For each stitch, there was a loop and a wavy piece of yarn. So what I had to do was thread my needle through that loop and wrap that piece of yarn around my needle. I'll try to get some good spots in here whenever we slow down. While I'm doing the messed up stitches right here, I am just going to leave the camera going fast. And then when we slow down and find the right stitch, I'll be able to show you what I did a little more closely. Okay, so I finally figured out the right way to do it, and I am matching stitch for stitch from bottom to the top, and I'm going to be going through that loop that's on the bottom of the one stitch and through the top of the stitch, like you would regularly crochet into that. I'm just pulling my yarn and thread through that. And can you see on the bottom of those stitches how it's got one loop and then I wrap that yarn around my needle like that. So it's basically on that bottom stitch, I'm going through the loop that's hanging down and wrapping the yarn around my needle. Because when I try to just pull the thread through it, it is way too loose, that what is left of those top stitches. And I think that's because that's how the yarn at the bottom of those stitches was attached to the yarn that got ripped out. So I'm slipping my needle through that loop and then wrapping the yarn around it. And then when I pull the yarn, I don't pull it too tight, I just pull it snug. And then it looks good. And the yarn is attached securely, so there will not be another rip out here. So this is what I'm going to do the rest of the way down. And I already know that the stitches match up perfectly because I made sure that they would. But I hope you can see what I'm doing there. See, put it through the chain, and then I put it through that loop, and then wrap that yarn around it. And the first couple of times when I was fast forwarding it, one time I didn't go through the loop, and I wrapped that yarn around the needle, but it still was kind of loose. So I'm really happy with this. It's a little more bulky than I would like it to be on the repair, but I do feel good in that I know that this repair will not come out. It will not be baggy. And yeah, I think it's going to be pretty good. It looks good to me. So, are you ready to listen to some more music? Okay, we are finished with stitching those 2 rows together, and you can see it's a little bulky, but that's okay. It is better than before. and I'm very happy with it. So now I'm going to cut that yarn and weave in the ends, and then I'm going to see if I need to crochet around the edges to make that where the repair is on the outside a little less noticeable. As you can see, I have decided to go all the way around the blanket one time, one single crochet with the yellow yarn. And that'll just make that area right there seem a little less bumpy and weird on the outside. And I gotta tell you, it's super fun crocheting around the edge of this blanket, because if you have ever made a blanket with acrylic yarn from a few decades ago, you will know that when you wash it, it gets a little melty on the edges and it kind of fuses together. So I really felt like when I was crocheting this yarn around the edges that it was giving it a new kind of a fresh look. So I was really happy about that too. Well, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed hearing the story behind this beautiful, colorful blanket and the repair and watching me bring it back to life. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for more yarn and crochet projects. And remember to hit that notification bell so you do not miss a second of yarny fun. And if you have something that needs repairing, don't hesitate to reach out because I would love to help. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Love you guys.